was that?
It sounded like a plane crash.
Hey, Beth. What is that? Somebody hit the World Trade Center or the...
It's a trade
Yes,
center.
the World Trade Center.
Yeah. This just in, you were
Matt just
looking
mentioned
at
we have a breaking
obviously
news
very
story to tell you
disturbing
about.
live shot there. That is the World Trade Center, and we just got unconfirmed reports this morning that a plane has crashed.
As we come on now, we have serious news of a major, a very tragic event right now. Incredible plane crashing into the world.
We believe that a plane has crashed into the World Trade Center in New York.
What's this other jet doing? What's this other jet doing? Holy fuck!
Oh my God. Oh my God.
Good evening. Today, our fellow citizens, our way of life, our very freedom came under attack in a series of deliberate and deadly terrorist acts. These acts of mass murder were intended to frighten our nation into chaos and retreat. But they have failed. Our country is strong. A great people has been moved to defend a great nation. Terrorist attacks can shake the foundations of our biggest buildings, but they cannot touch the foundation of America. These acts shatter steel, but they cannot dent the steel of American resolve. America was targeted for attack because we're the brightest beacon for freedom and opportunity in the world, and no one will keep that light from shining. The search is underway for those who are behind these evil acts. I've directed the full resources of our intelligence and law enforcement communities to find those responsible and to bring them to justice. We will make no distinction between the terrorists who committed these acts and those who harbor them. Our military is powerful and it's prepared.
On September the 12th, the North Atlantic Council met again in response to the appalling attacks perpetrated yesterday against the United States of America. The Council agreed that if it is determined that this attack was directed from abroad against the United States, it shall be regarded as an action covered by Article 5 of the Washington Treaty, which states that an armed attack against one or more of the allies in Europe or in North America shall be considered an attack against them all.
More than that, we must express our solidarity with the government and people in this hour of trial. Terrorism is an international scourge which the United Nations has many times condemned. A terrorist attack on one country is an attack on humanity as a whole. All nations of the world must work together to identify the perpetrators and bring them to justice.
The evidence we have gathered all points to a collection of loosely affiliated terrorist organizations known as
Al-Qaeda. It believes every Muslim's duty is to fight those who may oppose Islam. Founded in Pakistan by Osama bin Laden, Al-Qaeda is the group responsible for the 9/11 attacks. Nowadays, though, experts believe the terror group is much more fragmented and decentralized.
The leadership of Al-Qaeda has great influence in Afghanistan and supports the Taliban regime in controlling most of that country. The United States respects the people of Afghanistan. After all, we are currently its largest source of humanitarian aid, but we condemn the Taliban regime.
Taliban. It formed in 1994 and is made up of Afghan resistance fighters who fought invading Soviet forces in the 1980s. The main priority is controlling Afghanistan.
And tonight, the United States of America makes the following demands on the Taliban. Deliver to United States authorities all the leaders of Al-Qaeda who hide in your land. Release all foreign nationals, including American citizens you have unjustly imprisoned. Protect foreign journalists, diplomats, and aid workers in your country. Close immediately and permanently every terrorist training camp in Afghanistan and hand over every terrorist and every person in their support structure to appropriate authorities. Give the United States full access to terrorist training camps so we can make sure they are no longer operating. These demands are not open to negotiation or discussion. The Taliban must act and act immediately. They will hand over the terrorists, or they will share in their fate. Good afternoon. On my orders, the United States military has begun strikes against Al-Qaeda terrorist training camps and military installations of the Taliban regime in Afghanistan. These carefully targeted actions are designed to disrupt the use of Afghanistan as a terrorist base of operations and to attack the military capability of the Taliban regime. More than 2 weeks ago, I gave Taliban leaders a series of clear and specific demands. Close terrorist training camps, hand over leaders of the Al-Qaeda network, and return all foreign nationals, including American citizens unjustly detained in your country. None of these demands were met. And now, the Taliban will pay a price. Every nation has a choice to make. In this conflict, there is no neutral ground. If any government sponsors the outlaws and killers of innocents, they have become outlaws and murderers themselves. To all the men and women in our military, every sailor, every soldier, every airman, every Coast Guardsman, every Marine, I say this: your mission is defined, your objectives are clear, your goal is just.
Shot. Faster shooting spotted.
Man down! We need a medic up on the roof and we need more firepower. We need another gunner. Okay, we need a medic. Man down! Boys, we need a medic up here!
With the stroke of a pen, a new chapter may have opened for Afghanistan. The United States has agreed on a deal that could see the complete withdrawal of its troops from its longest-running war in the next 14 months.
How many more generations of America's daughters and sons would you have me send to fight Afghanistan's civil war when Afghan troops will not? How many more lives, American lives, is it worth? How many endless rows of headstones at Arlington National Cemetery?
A new chapter of America's engagement with Afghanistan has begun. It's one in which we will lead with our diplomacy. The military mission is over. A new diplomatic mission has begun.
And with that, America's longest war was over. They chose to walk away, and yet they ended up running, taking their allies with them.
It's almost 6 months since the Taliban swept to power in Afghanistan, when the US-backed government collapsed and American and NATO troops retreated. They rule the land with their rifles and restrictions, but that isn't enough to run a country. It takes money, experience and support, and the Taliban have almost none of these. And when all hope is gone, some parents are doing the unthinkable. It's normally the girls who are sold first, and when the pangs of hunger become too much to bear, some families sell their little boys too.
As of now, this child belongs to me. I have the right to sell him. If things would have been better, I would have let him study. But we've been left like this. It's normal to sell our daughters, but the situation is so bad, I have to sell my son because we're hungry.
Everywhere, people are being forced to make the most appalling choices. These men show scars on their abdomens. They say they've sold their organs for food. Life for so many has become a living hell.
I couldn't go out and beg for money, so I decided to go to the hospital and sell my kidney. That way, I could at least feed my children for some time.
د جنگ زیاتوي نو موږ د جنگ او د جهاد لپاره بالکل آماده یو موږ په جهاد باندې نه ستړي کېږو په زخمو باندې نه غمجن کېږو په شهادت باندې نه دردېږو موږ که شهیدان شوم کامیاب یو که په ستړي وم کامیاب یو که په جنگ کې وم کامیاب وو موږ په فاتحانه توګه کابل ته انشاءالله ننوځو دا د موږ لار او کامیابي ده
Thank you.